Hello everybody and welcome to a Wizard101 update video. My name is Courtney, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to go over the first week of Test Realm being out. I'm going to talk about some of the complaints, some of the good things that I've seen with Polaris, and some other issues that the community is going through right now. If you guys have any opinions at all on any of the stuff that I cover, don't be afraid to put your comment or your opinion in the in the comments below, because I really want to see what everybody feels about all these things, because all these kind of really impact the game in a very heavy way. So if you guys have any thoughts, any opinions, please put them down below in the comment section so I can read it. I do read all the comments, and I'll most likely try to respond to most of them if I can. So anyways, let's go ahead and go over the test realm notes here really fast. One of the things that people were complaining about, or were a little bit scared about, was the critical block system that KingsIsle has implemented in the live realm. Now, not live realm, in the test realm. They have a explanation on how they attempted to fix the problem with critical and block. A lot of people were complaining, I guess, about it before, saying that, like, it was really hard to crit through a block or something. I don't really know how it got to that level, but I knew it had to do something with PvP. I don't normally PvP, but I know that I've talked to some people who were actually complaining about the system before KingsIsle tried to fix it. So then they tried to fix it, and it caused an uproar in the community, and it was just really bad. Now, when I was actually playing through Polaris myself on Test Realm is currently offline as of right now. It'll come back up this coming Monday. But I noticed that my critical was not criticaling. I'm a Storm Wizard, so I almost criticaled, you know, 100% of the time. I have a super high crit. I think it was like 600 crit or something. And I noticed that I was not criticaling, and when I did critical, the bosses or even the minions actually blocked my crit, which I thought was really odd, because I normally crit anyway. Also, I had 100 block, so I had, you know, really crappy block, because Storm doesn't have that great a block anyway. But when I was going through Polaris, this wasn't in the video I did, this was actually, I continued a little bit farther along with Kaylee, Eddie, and Elise. And they were like, look at your block rating and look at your crit rating on your book, on your stats. And I took a look at it, and it said I had a 3% chance to critical and a 1% chance to block, which I'm like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense, like, at all. So I went back and I kept reading this statement from KingsIsle, that was talking about, you know, how the new crit and block work, and I couldn't understand it. Like, it's so confusing. I mean, it makes sense if you just, like, stare at it and, like, you read it, but then once you go into the game, you're like, this is confusing. This doesn't seem right. And then when you see, like, 1% block, it's like, I'm never gonna block anything. Anyway, so it caused a huge stir in the community, as you guys will be able to see on here on Central, Wizard101.com, or Wizard101central.com, my bad. So Dworgen, who I guess is one of the, I don't know if he's a moderator for Central, I don't really go on Central too much, but I guess he probably works with KingsIsle, but because of all of the complaints they got about the crit block system, they're changing things. And yesterday, which was Thursday, they actually took down Test Realm for a couple hours to, I'm assuming, try and fix the crit block, because people were complaining so much. Some people were saying they're gonna quit the game if they don't fix it. Like, things got real, and it seems like every time they change something huge like critical and block, people freak their crap out. They freak out. You know, and rightfully so, because these people spent, you know, a lot of time trying to get the gear that gave them the best block, the best crit, and now that it's pretty much obsolete, it's not, you know, it's bad. They wasted all their time, me included, actually, because I went through Darkmoor, and Darkmoor was really hard, and, you know, I farmed for all my stuff, only for it to really give me 3% crit, which is ridiculous. Anyway, so I'm upset, but I'm not like, you know, like, oh, this is gonna be such a huge deal. It is a huge deal, but I am hoping and praying that KingsIsle will be able to fix this the right way. I honestly don't think they should have fixed it in the beginning, because people found ways, you know, to get around the whole crit block thing in PvP. Like, people didn't really care about it anymore. You know, it was kind of just a thing that they had to get used to. But this is a huge thing, because if we only end up with 3% crit and 1% block, it's so pointless. Like, why even continue to farm for anything? So, people are very upset about this. It is test realm again, guys, so they still have a lot to go. It's not, you know, a sure thing. If you see it in test realm, you know it's gonna happen. If enough people complain, if enough people post their opinions on it, if enough people, you know, give their comments to KingsIsle on the test realm bug report thing, they will fix it. They will attempt to fix it. I don't know how they're gonna fix it. I personally think that they should probably just get rid of crit and block altogether, but that's just me because I miss the old days of where there wasn't really any controversy with critical and block, and there wasn't all these weird mathematical algorithms. I can't speak. So I just want to go back to when there was no crit and block, but that's me, and that's never gonna happen. So, anyways, I'm gonna give a link to this forum here, or this thread on Central. You guys can go ahead and read through. There was one post that I really, really liked, and not a lot of people gave their impressions of it like this. And I know a lot of people are feeling the same way as this person is. You guys can go ahead and read it. But basically, he was saying that if you don't respond to this critical block thing, he's going to quit. And he started talking about crowns, and like you spend a lot of crowns to get like the best gear and the best pets and stuff, and then you go into Polaris and it's pretty much obsolete. It doesn't make any sense, and it's just bad. So you guys can go ahead and read this entire thread here on the crit block. Like I said, my opinion is I hope they fix it. I hope they fix it, or just go back to the way it was before. The way it was before was fine. You know, people were getting through it, and like it wasn't that bad. Like, especially with questing, because now it's like questing is absolute, like, you know, I don't know. Questing as opposed to PvP is different. You know, I feel like with questing you don't really rely too much on crit as you do in PvP. But even with questing, it's kind of hard to kill things without crit now, and if I can't crit, like, a boss with, like, 50,000 health, then, you know, we're gonna be there for a while, but I don't know. I don't know where I really stand on it. I kind of just want them to fix it and hope that they could fix it, or just go back to the way it was before. People really want them to go back to the way it was before. Like, it was never an issue anymore. Like, I mean, we've had the critical system for, what, like a couple years or two? They haven't really changed much of it over the past couple years, and people were fine with it. They got used to it. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know where KingsIsle is going to go. Apparently they're trying to fix it, and hopefully they do, or they go back to the way it was before. But this post by Lone Wiz is a very good post. So if you guys, you know, want to read this, I'll leave a link to the description in the description to this as well. And don't forget to leave your comments too about what you think about the crit block system. I just noticed that I can't crit. It's ridiculous. Or when I do crit, like, everybody blocks. Like, even the minions block. Normally the minions didn't block before. And I know it's a new world and everything. That's another thing. I'm going to get to the world in a sec here. So that's one of the things one of the larger things that people are complaining about. Now, another thing people are complaining about are the new spells. And particularly the storm spell. I have a forum or a thread as well in Central that are talking about, or they're talking about how the new storm spell basically does less damage than storm bugs, but it costs more pips to cast, which seems kind of ridiculous if you ask me. It's like, because why would you just use bugs then, right? Like, I mean, I would just use bugs. I wouldn't use that. I'd even use like Storm Snake. Like, Storm Snake could probably do more damage than that. Anyway, so if you guys aren't familiar with the storm spell, it is called Rusalka, or Rusalka. I don't know how you say it properly. But here's what the card looks like. You probably can't see it too well. But basically it does 1,352 storm damage to one enemy. This is one enemy, by the way, guys. One enemy. You can either get a plus 25% like blade, or a negative 50% weakness to the next storm attacking spell. So attack spell. Now people were confused and perplexed because were the blade or the weakness going to be cast before the spell or after the spell? And people were really like, you know, just confused because again, this costs 6 pips and 1 shadow pip to cast, whereas bugs cost 5 pips and 1 shadow pip, and it hits like a truck and it gets rid of blades and stuff, as opposed to this one that actually hits less than bugs and it costs more, and you have a possibility of getting a negative 50% weakness to yourself. So there was this huge dilemma about this. I'm hoping they're gonna fix it because the math, and I'm not good at math, but the math doesn't add up in my brain. Like if I got this, I actually did a poll on my Twitter here. It's still going. But I asked if people will be using Rusalka if King's Owl doesn't change it. There's 18 votes. 83% said no. So that's kind of resounding. I mean, it's not too many people voting, only 18 people voted, but it just, like, I don't understand, really. I don't understand why you would make a spell that is less powerful as the worlds are continuing. I had somebody actually post a comment on my video, on the Polaris video, saying that they think this is the arc after Wizard101. So, if that's the case, then would we still, you know, be getting, we should still be getting stronger spells, right? Because why would we use Rusalka when we have Bugs, or Storm Owl, or Artorias, like, that don't give a possibility of a negative 50%, you know, weakness. So anyways, there was this controversy about this. I think somebody mentioned that they didn't know, and this was before I think they fixed it, or didn't really fix it, but they're tinkering with it. Because again, guys, this is Test Realm, so it's not in Live Realm yet. So, they're saying, I don't know, about how, you know, with Storm, it's all luck based. Most of the attacks are luck based. But to be completely honest with you, I don't really use much of the luck based spells. So for example, Insane Bolt, Wild Bolt, I don't know what the other ones are. Energizing Battery, what's that thing called, right? Where like you can get a certain amount of health back if you're lucky or whatever. I don't really do those. I don't rely on those a lot because they're not reliable. And I know Storm is all about luck and da-da-da-da-da. But, I don't know, like, it doesn't make sense to me that you would give us a less strong spell for more pips and the possibility to get weakness. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, and so then people were asking, you know, does the weakness or the blade come on after you cast a spell or before you cast a spell? And I think people tested it and they said, let me see if I can find the post. They said that, like, I think in the beginning it casted after you did, no, before, I gotta read it, hang on. I'm gonna find it here. Let's see. I don't really know where it is, but I think it said, was it on the second page? I looked at it on my phone, so I'm on, like, my computer now. Let's see. And then they were talking about, like, how it's really, like, a storm shield, but they were talking about if it's a weakness or a storm shield and end up being a weakness, which makes sense because, there was a storm fist thing, but then there's a storm fist on here. I don't know! It's kind of confusing. I'm trying to find, where it is here. There's your Rusalka's Wrath, showing pictures of it. And, yeah, let me see. I don't know. I swear I saw it. I don't know where it is. So I don't know. I think it casts now. It casts before the spell is hit. So, for example, if you're casting Rusalka, then you're either going to get a 50% debuff, so a 50% weakness, or you're going to get a plus 25% damage after? I don't know. I'm so confused about this entire thing. But I do know, I think actually it's not, because they're talking about cleansing. So, I think it's Rusalka. If you cast Rusalka, the weakness or the blade don't come on until after you hit it. I think that's what they were saying. So if you cast Rusalka, you'll either get a 25% blade or a 50% weakness after the spell is cast. However, people were complaining because you can't cleanse off that minus 50% weakness. So people were like, what? You can't get rid of it? Like, what? Then what's the point of using the spell? Because you're just gonna have, you know, there's no point in using it. Just wait and use glow bugs. Like, you don't even have to wait that long. You can just glow bug whenever you want. So, you know, people are complaining about it. People are upset about it. Like I said, I think I saw someone say something like it's gonna be the second arc to Wizard City. So all the spells are going to be kind of like this, but honestly, in my opinion, this is my opinion now, if Kingsisle doesn't fix this spell in terms of the damage output, or the pip cast, or the dilemma with the minus 50% not cleansing, then I'm not gonna use it. Because it's pointless. Like, there's no point to use it. Like, I don't use Wild Bolt, I don't use Insane Bolt, I don't use any of those spells that are even have luck-based anyway. So if you guys are a Storm Wizard, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Rusalka, because, you know, I'm probably not going to use it if they don't fix it. There's been, like, some people that told me that they actually are going to fix it, but don't know how they're going to fix it, so, you know, it's up in the air. Also, I guess that's enough of the big stuff. The test room is still pretty glitchy. There's still a lot of bugs that they need to tinker out, because I don't know if you guys saw my video with Kaylee, but the battle was on top of each other, which was kind of an issue. And I think somebody also mentioned that it's not a very long world. I think it only took them like 12 hours to actually complete the world, whereas Chrysalis took a while to beat. And for a world that, you know, is so hyped and took, like, what was it, a year and a half to almost 2 years to actually create, you know, it's not that long of a world. Now, I don't really mind it not being that long of a world, because then it means I can get it done faster, and, yeah, but then you're, like, stuck with what are you gonna do next after 2 days of questing, like, so, I don't know if this is just a part of Polaris. I don't think it is, because I've seen people actually just completely finish it on Test Realm, and it was just completely done. So, we'll see. But other than those issues, you know, there haven't been many issues with, you know, like, other stuff. I don't know. I'm really worried about the spell, and I'm really worried about crit block. And I'm mostly worried about crit block. So, hopefully they fix that up, you know, to better fit. And I know they're probably, like, in their offices with people, like, trying to decide, like, how they're actually gonna fix it. But, because it's a huge deal. Like, for a lot of people that spend a lot of time farming and stuff for gear that gives them a lot of block and a lot of crit, like, it's pretty much obsolete now in Polaris. And this other thing, too, is I think they said, was it on, I can't find it. Twitch. Where was it? It said something like, after 100... or after level 100 or something, it actually takes effect. So until you're level 100, the block thing isn't even gonna matter. The crit block thing isn't gonna matter. So, is that just a deterrent for us not to keep leveling up to level 100? Because, like, I don't know. It makes no sense. But guys, let me know your opinions and comments in the comment section, because I really want to see what you guys think about it too. It's a very tense subject, and I don't want you guys to, like, bite each other's heads off, because it's still, again, in test, it's still in development. all of this could change. I could be making another video next week of everything that's better, and it's so much better, and it's fabulous. So let me know what you guys' comments are below, what your opinions are, and I will be back, I believe, next week after Polaris comes out again on Test ROM and see if they fixed any kinks with it. Hopefully they do. But if they don't, then they don't, and it's just something we have to get used to again, which is gonna really suck. But, you know, you gotta do that with games. So, anyways, guys, let me know your comments below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Bye, everybody.